The education commissioner says those negative comments about Kirk's death ranged from inappropriate to reprehensible. But the teachers union calls it a violation of First Amendment rights for the educators under investigation. Fox 4's Sean Rabb joins us with the story. Sean.
Yeah, at the heart of this argument, Clarice, is that while teachers are government employees, state employees, that they cannot express their own personal opinions on their own social media. That's at the heart of this First Amendment fight that's now going to court. What the teachers union is arguing is that the state, by its actions, has stepped on the First Amendment.
We're suing TEA today for violating our members' First Amendment rights and targeting them for their protected speech.
Following the Charlie Kirk assassination, people on both sides of Kirk's political views shared their own opinions about him on social media. Commissioner Mike Morath warned educators posting what he termed reprehensible and vile comments could be in violation of the Educators' Code of Conduct. The president of the state's largest teachers union, AFT, says political posturing has left some Texas teachers terrified and their rights to free speech chilled.
State leaders have decided to score a few cheap points, and it was worth the disciplinary actions and the doxing and the death threats targeted at Texas teachers.
The lawsuit says the state is trampling teachers' rights to free speech. And although public school teachers and other employees are public servants, they do not surrender their First Amendment rights simply by virtue of their employment, especially with respect to their activities as private citizens outside of the school environment. Constitutional attorney David Cole.
And these are some tricky First Amendment issues. I mean, and it depends on what they say. If they say, I don't like Charlie Kirk, that's a statement of opinion about a political matter. That's one thing. But if they get a little carried away with the rhetoric, you are a representative of the community, you're a teacher, there's some arguments on the other side of that.
The lawsuit includes 4 examples. One teacher being fired, others under investigation for posts ranging from things Charlie Kirk said about minorities to comments about immigration and school shootings. The AFT's national president lays the blame on Education Commissioner Mike Morath.
At the heart of this case, it is about Mr. Morath's actions and continued actions and the danger that it's doing to an environment of teaching and learning.
Another First Amendment case turning to the courts to define the limits of free speech.
The First Amendment never comes into play when the topic is easy, right? I mean, the First Amendment cases only go to the courthouse when a topic is being talked about that people feel very strongly and very passionately about on both sides. And so this is that issue.
This is that issue indeed. Now, in an email to me, the Texas Education Agency says they cannot talk about ongoing legal matters, but they did tell me there were 354 complaints against teachers that came in, not individually, but collectively. Some educators, in fact, had multiple complaints sent in against them. Other comments that came in was simply that, commentary about the issue. They tell me there are 95 educators still under investigation, no sanctions at this point on those 95, and that all other cases are now closed. But this federal case, this First Amendment court fight, is just beginning.
And Sean, we know you will keep us posted on that. Thank you.